Greetings and salutations, viewers of YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your storytelling pal, Big Al. Before I get into today's story, the typical disclaimers, and also before I forget, please remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good jazz. Thank you. But also on the disclaimers, these stories are all kind of sort of true as best I can remember them. If I have to fudge a fact or two to make them a funnier story, I'm probably going to. I try not to use any last names in the stories, just for privacy's sake, or any like identifying details like locations and stuff. And if you recognize someone from a story, or if you are someone from one of my stories, thank you for the memories. It's greatly appreciated. And also, if someone has behaved in a really kind of unfortunate way, I'm going to change your names in the story also for privacy's sake. The other thing, I hope everyone that watches this just gets a good laugh out of it. And I hope that, it gets thousands of views and thousands of people laugh at what I'm saying. If that doesn't happen, because not everyone's going to like me, not everyone's going to like my stories. Some people are going to watch this and only see the fact that I'm bad or whatever. Guess what? I don't care. Go watch someone else. Go watch Nick and Josh, or Josh and Nick. I can't remember which one goes first. There's a lot of other great channels on YouTube that you can check out. So go watch one of them if you don't like me. Just know that I'm just here to let people have fun. Don't come in here politicking or religioning or whatever. So, anyway, with all that said, let's get into the story. So, I've already told y'all the funniest baseball or softball play I was involved in, and the funniest basketball play. So, today is going to be the funniest football play. So, to explain the circumstances, 8th grade gym class, our coach was kind of extra, and he would have us play like various team sports games just to kind of give us all kind of a sense of what they were like. So when football time came around, we played flag football, and he got 2 or 3 people to come and be refs. I think it was some of the paraprofessional coaches, or if I remember, or whatever, but people that kind of knew enough about it to do it. Had even a chain gang. We went out on the high school's football field, the whole 9 yards. The high school's football field was actually right next to our middle school, but, anyway. So the way we would play is, Coach would come into our huddle, and he would tell us 3 possible plays we could run if we were on offense. And we would choose one after he left our huddle, and then he would, with the defense, he would tell them a couple of defenses that they could try, and they would choose one of the 2. And after every play, everyone would rotate one position. So, like, if you were, say, a running back on one play, then you would rotate to fullback on the next play, and then to quarterback, or, kind of like that. So everyone was playing every position, and if we were on the offensive or defensive line, we were supposed to kind of, try to push the other people out of the way kind of thing. But, if we were, if it was a guy against a girl, try not to be, too crazy. And if possible, just kind of switch places so that it's a girl blocking a girl or a guy blocking a guy kind of thing. So we had the ball 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line, and we elected to line up in an I formation, which, for those of you not familiar with American football, this means that we were arranged in this type of configuration right here. So I was out here. JB, the other one right here, was, on the outside. I was more on the inside. And then you have 7 blockers right here. Technically, these 2 on the ends were tight ends that could receive a pass, but we were we elected for a run play, so they were just blockers. And then you have quarterback, who is the one that receives the snap from the center, fullback, and halfback. And I don't remember who was playing quarterback at that time. It was a guy. I cannot think of who it was, though. And our fullback, which turned out to be very fortuitous for us on this play, was this guy Ike. And Ike went on and started at fullback on our high school. When we got up into high school, junior and senior year, he was a backup freshman and sophomore year. And Ike had started playing football in 4th grade. And he just had always been a fullback. And he, you could just look at him, and for an 8th grader, this was a fullback. But then our running back was this girl named Elizabeth. And so basically, Elizabeth here was basically just supposed to take the ball in between the center and the guard. That's what this position here is called. I just realized I wasn't holding this up enough. So Elizabeth's just going to come through here. And that's the play. It's a pretty simple play. So for me, I know you can't see it now looking at me, but I played 16 years of soccer. So this was kind of fascinating to me, but I wasn't all that dialed in on it. I was just kind of hoping that they gave me something to punt or kick. And, till then I was kind of like, well, I'll do what I can. And that was the thing. A lot of people had varying degrees of how committed they were to this. So, but on the defense, the other team, we had a guy who was all in, and that was Big Daryl. And Daryl was already on the 8th grade football team at the time. He ended up playing varsity football for all 4 years of high school. I think he started games in all 4 of those years, even as a freshman on the offensive line. Daryl was the biggest person in our grade. Also, he was kind of a force to be reckoned with. And he was playing middle linebacker for the other team, which was going to be a big problem. So anyway, the ball is snapped, and instead of the quarterback handing it off to Elizabeth, the quarterback sees Daryl came through the line almost at the same time the ball is snapped, and the quarterback basically runs over this way. And now, technically, if JB and I would have been playing the position correctly, we would have run down the field and taken the cornerbacks with us to kind of, help get some guy or people out of the, play. But JB and I were both like, well, this is a running play. We don't really have to do anything. So the ball was snapped, and JB and I just kind of stood there. And so once Daryl came through the line and started running after the quarterback over this way, basically all of these people and then all 11 people from the defense, they all went over this way. And so it became kind of like this Roadrunner cartoon of our quarterback running from Daryl. And so they're all way over on the other side of the field. And JB and I are just kind of standing there. And when the 2 cornerbacks that were standing in front of us ran after our quarterback, JB turned to me and he said, "Hey, weren't we supposed to block them?" And I said, "I think so." But by that time, they were already gone, so we just kind of shrugged and continued to stand there and watch this. And so JB and I are standing there, and JB, as the receiver on the outside, he was going to be playing quarterback on the next play. And he was sitting there, and he was just like, "Man, we're going to lose so many yards on this play." And I'm like, "I know, man, this is going to suck." And the thing was, I was going to be quarterback on the play after JB, and I was like, there's no way we're going to, convert on 3rd down. So he and I are just kind of talking back and forth about that, kind of watching this kind of 11:09 game of, kill the man with the ball that is unfolding, about 20 yards away on the left side of the field, and we're all the way on the right side. And so finally, Elizabeth says to the guy that's playing quarterback, she goes, I can take the ball now, which was a very game thing for her to say. And so he laterals the ball to her, and now she's running away from everyone. And she quickly decided that, she did not want the ball. So she handed it to Ike. And Ike had he was on the side closest to us. And so he starts to run about 8 strides toward us. And he's still, probably every bit of 15 yards away from us or so. And there's a lot of the defense that's way past him, over toward the other sideline. And as we see Ike coming, I say to JB, I'm like, man, that's the last thing I want to see is everyone running toward us. And so suddenly, Ike, without breaking stride, just throws the ball like a good pass and throws it right at JB and I. And JB caught it, and he turned around and looked, toward the end zone, 80 yards away, and he just kind of heavily sighed. And he looks at me, and he goes, here, have fun, and hands me the football, which, still a live ball, still a live play going on at this point. And so I was just like, okay. And I took off running, and I managed to outrun everyone and score a touchdown. So after the play's over, Coach just loses it. And he's like, how did y'all do that? Because one, you should have taken like a 15-yard loss. Two, this wasn't what we grew up at all. We didn't want a lateral handoff. And so everyone was laughing. It was like just complete and utter chaos. So that was the funniest play that I've ever been involved in football. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all have a good one. I'm out.